Reaction video time. This is to Mark Goldbridge's Game Over. Haaland signs for Man City. Goldbridge reacts. Now Haaland has not signed for Manchester City as of this moment, but let's hear what he has to say.
Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. Erling Haaland to Manchester City looks absolutely nailed on. Does that mean game over for the rest of the Premier League, Europe, the world and the universe, as some people seem to be predicting? And the honest answer is, I don't think it is. Erling Haaland will be the biggest signing of the summer. Manchester City making it with...
Next to Kylian Mbappe, probably will be the biggest signing of the summer. We'll see if Manchester City can pull it off.
We can all crack jokes about it and saying we'll barely notice it, but it is a big signing. Man City are a fantastic side. Pep Guardiola is a fantastic manager, and as we sit here in mid-April, we could be witnessing a team without Erling Haaland at Man City win a potential Premier League and Champions League double. So look, they're a very good side. You add Erling Haaland into it. Does that make them a better side? Of course it does. Does it make them an invincible side? Well, you don't actually have to be that good to be an invincible side. You can draw 12 games in a season. You can win no cups in that season and still be invincible. So
that's a little subtle attack on the Arsenal Invincibles of 2003, 2004. To put that in somewhat more perspective than what he did, Arsenal did make it to the semifinals of the FA Cup for losing to Manchester United. They did make it to the semifinals of the League Cup that year, losing to Middlesbrough. I think they made it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and before they lost to Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken. But they went 38 games in a Premier League season, something that Sir Alex Ferguson and Manchester United never did, something that the great Liverpool teams never did, and they did not lose a single game. Okay. Now, if you take specifically on a Premier League season that you went through the entire year and didn't suffer a defeat, yeah, I tend to lean on the side of Arsenal and not on Mr. Goldbridge here.
So the reality is, invincible doesn't really matter. Is Man City going to dominate with Pep Guardiola, the team that they've got, and Erling Haaland? And that's what we're going to discuss.
And if they do get him, they're going to be a very tough team to beat. But I wouldn't necessarily rule out Real Madrid at this point. I wouldn't rule out Bayern Munich at this point of trying to get Haaland. But if he ends up going to Manchester City, that's going to be a very, very difficult team to beat.
The reality is, look, Erling Haaland at Dortmund, how many major trophies has he won in his time there? Not many. No Bundesligas, no European trophies. I think they've won.
He won the German Cup.
Won a German Cup. So look, Erling Haaland in a Dortmund side doesn't make them unstoppable. Erling Haaland...
But a Dortmund side compared to a Manchester City side are two entirely separate things, two entirely separate entities.
Haaland in a Man City side, which has been very successful, makes them better. I don't think it makes them unstoppable, and I think there's various reasons why. But one of the most interesting things is that Pep Guardiola really wants a number 9, and I find this quite funny because we hear that you don't need a number 9 anymore. Look at Man City, false 9. And yet, over the last year, he desperately wanted Harry Kane, he desperately wanted Ronaldo, and he desperately wants Erling Haaland. He clearly sees a number 9 in the future of this Man City side to make it even better. So all this false 9 stuff will obviously disappear when he buys an out-and-out number 9. Because one thing's very clear about a Harry Kane or a Ronaldo or an Erling Haaland, and that is that they're not going to play on the wing, they're not going to play as a number 10, they're not going to play holding midfield or centre-back, they are strikers, and they will play as strikers in a Manchester City side. Do I think that this makes Man City unbeatable? No, I don't. I really don't.
I don't think it makes them unbeatable either, but it certainly makes them a very tough side. The other thing you need to worry about when it comes to Erling Haaland is he sometimes picks up nibbles, and he sometimes gets injured. So that might work in the rest of the league's benefit, but it's going to make them a much better team.
I think that there will be issues that any player will have. I mean, look, Man City are better than Man United, but you put Ronaldo in a United team.
There are 1,000 teams that are better than Manchester United, let's be honest.
Hasn't made us better. Some would say it's made us worse. That's not on him. That's on the team that's around him and the inability to create chances.
Yeah, when you look at Manchester United right now with Cristiano Ronaldo, I think Cristiano said, hey, they finished in second place. If I come here, maybe I can change their fortunes and we can win the league. But Manchester United is not a very good team. And I think they have a long haul before they become a very good team.
Erling Haaland in a Man City side is going to have to adapt. There's not going to be many teams that play Man City next season with Erling Haaland in it who think, let's play on the halfway line and get done on the counter. Erling Haaland loves to play on the counter with Dortmund. He loves a bit of pace. That's not really going to be possible for Man City. On the other hand, Dortmund are a team that has a lot of possession and teams will sit deep against them. He'll be used to that with Man City. So I think it's a good signing for Manchester City, but let's be honest, Man City's massive signings haven't really...
Anybody who's seen Erling Haaland play would be a good signing for anybody. They'd be a great signing for Arsenal, for Manchester United, be a great signing for Chelsea. You're looking to get rid of or move Lewandowski away from Bayern Munich. He'd be an ideal replacement there. Let's see, what's his name for Real Madrid? He's not going to play forever there. Karim Benzema. You'd be hard pressed to find a single team that couldn't use somebody like an Erling Haaland.
Really necessarily works out. To be honest, they probably only really made one. Jack Grealish, 100 million quid. Has that made...
From Aston Villa, who had no European football in his pedigree before he moved there. A little bit of a different animal when you're talking about comparing Jack Grealish moving to Manchester City than Erling Haaland, who does have Champions League football in his repertoire.
Man City better or worse? I think that's up for debate. The reality is Man City's major success over the last decade has been buying players for 50 million or 60 million or 40 million. The big signings, they don't have a massive experience of doing it. And Erling Haaland is a massive signing. That all in all, that deal's going to cost north of 150 million quid. The headline will be 67 million, but the whole reason that Mino Raiola was insistent on there being a release clause when he signed for Dortmund was because he knew the vast majority of money would be made by him and his client when he moved on. £67 million for Dortmund is not a lot of money for one of the world's best young strikers. If that release clause was not in play, you'd be expecting a fee of over £100 million easily. And that will be being paid somewhere else. That will be going to Mino Raiola, that will be going to Haaland and other subsidiaries of that. So it's a massive outlay for...
A lot of people making a lot of money on this player, rightfully so.
But they can write off as we only paid 67 million. But trust me, as a United fan who's been linked to Haaland a couple of times, there are huge fees underneath.
Haaland chose to go to Borussia Dortmund instead of going to Manchester United to play for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
That. So this is Man City's biggest ever signing. And with that comes great responsibility, great expectation. And he will score goals. But will he make Man City the greatest untouchable team in Europe? And I don't think it will, because we've already seen Man City this season. I thought Atletico Madrid caused them problems the other week.
Atletico Madrid playing 5 defenders, 5 midfielders at the Etihad. And then, look, if you don't have a number 9, a striker who can score a goal, it may make things difficult for you. That game was in Madrid was unique, to say the least, in the sense that Manchester City really didn't look like the better team all game long, and it took a while before Atletico Madrid realized that and put some pressure on Manchester City. But still, except I wouldn't base Manchester City on that game against Atletico Madrid.
Week. Liverpool will cause them problems and will continue to cause them problems. So
Liverpool will cause everybody problems.
Domination of Manchester City is not going to happen just because they've bought Erling Haaland. It will make them better, it will make them different, but it won't make them unbeatable. They may well win a treble next year, they may well win a quadruple, they may well win the league for the next 5 years, but I don't think they're going to transcend to a level that makes them untouchable. I
don't think anybody's going to ever get that untouchable. It's possible that you could win 4 trophies in a year, but you're not going to continue to do that year in, year out. You may be able to do that on FIFA, the video game, but you're not going to do that in real life. These are human beings, and they're going to act like human beings. They're going to make mistakes like human beings. That's why Messi hasn't won the Champions League every single year, or Ronaldo hasn't won the Champions League every year. He's won quite a few, and so has Messi, as far as the Champions League is concerned, but they have lost games as well.
I think what you're actually getting is, and I would applaud City for this, is something that United, I remember Roy Keane saying this, and we didn't always do it. When you win the league or you win the Champions League, what do you do in the summer after that? Do you think, well, we're good enough to go and do it again?
They asked a coach, an NFL coach, coach of the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, who's probably the most successful NFL coach in recent times, what's your favorite championship that you've won? He always says the next one. And that's the mentality you have to have. Once you've won it, once you've lifted the trophy and somewhere got your medal, it's over. It's now time to start thinking about the future. And can a Manchester City team continue, assuming they do that? And there's no assumptions. That's why you play the game.
Do you add players in to make you even better? And I think that is something that Liverpool and Chelsea are going to have to take a look at, because if Man City do win the league this year, and they do win the Champions League this year, and they do add Erling Haaland in, that is a big message that we only want to get better. We need to react to that. In relation to the player himself, do I think he'll be a success? Yeah, I do. I think he will. I think he'll win Golden Boot in the Premier League. Of course I do. Do I think he'll be a success? Yes, I do think he will. But one thing I would always say about Erling Haaland is 22 years of age this summer. At Dortmund, I think he must have had, I'm going to get it up in a minute, I think he must have had 6 or 7 injuries in a couple of years. None of them have been major injuries, but they're all injuries that they're either going to disappear because they're all to do with growth, and they could well be to do with growth. He's only 20, he's only coming up for 22. Or they could be issues that follow him through his whole career. So when you look at it, I mean, he did have a few knee issues at Salzburg, but in his Dortmund time, literally the first summer there, knee problem. Then again in the November, a little bit of a knee problem. Then a torn muscle fibre, muscular problems.
He has been injury prone at Dortmund and has missed quite a few games. But something needs to be said about the medical staff at Dortmund, especially from this year with Giovanni Reina, who missed up quite a bit of the season and went back and started, and then got injured again about 2 minutes into the game a couple weeks ago, is now out for the season. A lot of questions were asked about the medical staff of Dortmund, and I believe they got rid of some of the medical staff there at Dortmund. I'm not sure about that, but you can let me know in the comments. But that there is something to be said about that. I believe the medical staff at Manchester City is going to be a little bit better than they are at Dortmund. Not saying that that's the reason he got injured, but something needs to be said about that.
Hip flexor problem this season back in October that kept him out for a month, and then muscular problems from January until March. So they're not major injuries. They're certainly not major injuries, but they might be something that Man City might want to take a look at vigorously when they're doing the.
And they're not going. That's not to say that he's going to get injured all the time when he's at Manchester City. I wouldn't call him injury prone, but he has missed some games for Dortmund.
Medical. I don't think it'd be enough to say don't sign him, but it might be something that maybe we look at over the next couple of years with Haaland and see, was it just growing pains? Because you're going to get that. He's been playing football. He's a big lad for the last 2 or 3 years in key growth years as a footballer. You know, he is physically going to be growing. Is this why he's had a few knee problems, a few muscle problems? Or is he going to be that sort of a player that does pick up a couple of knocks throughout the season? And obviously, if that happens, City have got very big experience of that with Aguero, who seemed to get a couple of hamstrings injuries every year. So, look, it's not...
City's used to playing with a false 9 if they have to. But I think with Haaland on the pitch and having an out-and-out goal scorer like Haaland is going to make them a dominant team. It's going to make them an incredibly dominant team. And yeah, Liverpool's going to give them. Liverpool right now, as well in the way they're doing business, the way Manchester City's doing business, they are going to be fighting each other for the title for the foreseeable future, unless something radical happens. I don't see Chelsea challenging. I don't see Arsenal challenging for the title. Certainly don't see Manchester United, not for a while, and I don't see Tottenham challenging either. And this also brings into point the situation with Harry Kane. Harry Kane wanted to go to Manchester City last year. He wants to win trophies. And having Conte at Tottenham, what he wants, is that what was going to make him happy? Does he want to stay there, or does he want to leave and go and find a place to win trophies? Who's interested in Harry Kane now if they sign Erling Haaland? Would Harry Kane go to Spain? Would he go to Barcelona? Would he go to Real Madrid? Would he go to Germany? Would he replace Lewandowski and play at Bayern Munich, possibly? You know, I don't know anything about that, but those are things you have to look at from Harry Kane. This is, like I said, he wanted to go to Manchester City. He wants to win trophies. He's not going to do that at Tottenham.
Not set in stone that it will be an absolute success for Manchester City. I think it's a very, very good signing. I think it's a very interesting signing. And the interesting part for me is that Man City seem to have changed tact. They always were a club that spent good money, a lot of money, but on 50 to 60 million signings. They've now bought Grealish for 100 million. They're now going to get the biggest signing. There's clearly a change in City's policy. It was almost like the first decade. Let's sort of scoot under the radar, spending a lot of money on players that aren't expensive in relation to their high price volume. And now they seem to be spending a lot of money on the high price items, the Grealish, obviously the Haaland as well. And the biggest thing for me in the
It's not like they don't have the money to do it, though.
footballing sense, if you take away the money, is Pep's sort of become known for this man who can play a false nine in a Cup Champions League final and this, that and the other. But he desperately wants a number 9. What does Man City become with a proper number 9? Does he just abandon all false 9 things and just go with an out-and-out number 9? I think that's going to be interesting as well. So is it game over for the rest of the world? Is it game over for the rest of the Premier League? I don't think so. What?
I don't think so either, but it certainly makes them a tough team to beat, tough team to play, and Haaland will score goals for fun. That is. I don't think anybody can question that.
Do you? It will make them better. It'll be interesting. But I don't think it means they're going to walk away. I think that's modern sensationalist crap that you'll get from Gary Lineker about Man City are going to win everything for the next 100 years. I don't see that happening. I think Man City will get better, but it's how everyone else responds. In fact, I would say this. I think if Chelsea had bought Erling Haaland, that would have been a really big difference, because I think Chelsea are crying out for a striker like that. Whereas Man City, do they need it? We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for...
Well, if I mentioned that earlier, if Haaland signed for Chelsea, that would make them a very interesting team as well. But I don't think anybody's going to be a world beater. Like I said, there's human beings, and we've seen great teams go together, and like the Real Madrid teams, the Galacticos. They didn't win everything that wasn't nailed down. They were just as they could be beaten just like anybody else could. But it's interesting his perspective. Interesting Mark Goldbridge's perspective on this. And I just want to give my 2 cents in it. But I enjoy listening to Mark Goldbridge. He's a pretty funny guy. He's also a very knowledgeable guy in football. So if you get a chance to listen to him, the link will be in the description. Please hit like and subscribe, and put your comments below. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.